In today's video, we're going to be diving into the upcoming pattern where we really are going to be seeing warmer temperatures after this cooldown is said and done that we've been talking about. And today has been the day that I've really been mentioning. I've always said I think the 7th through like the 12th or something is really the time frame to watch for cooler temperatures here in the east. This front is currently working its way through, and cold air will follow it, which is surprising. Here in Southeast Virginia, it was 90 degrees just yesterday, and now we have freeze warnings, or maybe freeze watches, something like that, where it's potentially going to go below 32 for a lot of areas nearby. Really crazy stuff. That swing in the temperatures is very, very extreme. And again, we're going to be rebounding back out of these cold temperatures relatively quickly. There is some severe weather expected over the upcoming pattern, but nothing too crazy, at least for a little while. I've been mentioning that we do have a break coming up in that severe weather, which is really good news. There are some chances for snowfall that we will go over today as well. So let's just dive into it, looking at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, which is going to be post cooldown. As you can see, this is for the 13th through the 17th. I mentioned that the cooldown is approximately from the 7th to the 12th. So this is post cooldown. We already, by this time frame, do see cold temperatures kind of returning to the west, which is going to start to move this warm air back towards the east. This is going to be what rebounds us out of that cool pattern. We do see near normal conditions still for the eastern seaboard, so we aren't quite as warm as we have been yet, but I think we're going to recover out of it quite nicely. Looking at the precipitation, it will be quite dry along the southeast area, so this will be a nicer 6 to 10 day period overall. Relatively temperate, I would say overall nearly room temperature. Temperatures, obviously, as you work your way further south, it might still be in the 80s at near normal conditions, but overall seasonable. I think that's the perfect way to put it. The southwest is also quite dry during this time frame, and then the wettest area is going to be these central and northern plains, where we're only slightly above average. I mean, it's going to be very quiet around the nation during this time frame in particular. Looking towards the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, this is going to be for the 15th through the 21st now, so well after the cooldown is said and done. We do have warmer conditions over the west, which is interesting. This looks more like a positive PNA than anything. And that's probably why the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast are all hanging on to at least these near normal conditions, and it's not just fully warm. But for this southeast corner, it does appear quite warm compared to normal for this 15th through 21st time frame. Looking at the precipitation, we also rebound in this department quite a bit. We see drier conditions for most of the west, but a little bit above normal precipitation expected for some of these areas like the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Ohio Valley, some of the Midwest, down through the Southern Plains. That's an area to watch. This isn't the most confident looking precipitation forecast, so it really could swing either way. We see large areas of near normal conditions, which is telling me that a lot of this they think could just swing in either direction or be very, very close to normal. Now, looking at the European model, we're going to dive into this one first. Again, here's that front I was talking about. It's hanging out near the East Coast. We do see this cold air diving in behind it. So we are seeing this drop of temperatures again today on the 7th into tomorrow the 8th. We do see some showers and even snow showers in the higher elevation areas out west. Let's get past this. Okay, so we see the cold air has arrived by tomorrow afternoon on the 8th. We actually have snow showers up there in the northeast as well, as there's a low nearby the coast of Maine. It is a relatively strong one, but it's not bringing very impactful conditions. It's, light to moderate snowfall, nothing too crazy. And that's why I always tell you guys, you've probably heard me say it a million times, but the actual intensity of the low does not always mean, and it doesn't always correlate with the intensity of the actual impacts and conditions that you see from a storm. Sometimes we see weaker lows bring deadly weather, and then sometimes we see stronger lows that are relatively low in precipitation overall. So it does vary quite a bit. Obviously, as a rule of thumb, the stronger the low, the stronger the impacts, but that isn't true every single time. So that's why it's important to break it down and figure out what it is going to bring to the surface. Looking at the northwest, we see continued activity there, taking us forward towards Wednesday the 9th. I mean, there's some showers up here in the Rockies, showers in parts of the Midwest, but really, really quiet. We're just going to move right past that into Thursday here on the 10th, where we do see some of these showery conditions reaching towards the east. But again, it's just showery conditions. This is nothing crazy going on here. Thursday on the 10th. For Friday the 11th, we do see a developing kind of, I would say, weaker nor'easter. We do see some moderate to heavy rainfall in the mid-Atlantic and southeast, but nothing that crazy. Again, we see this kind of resurgence of the cold air as this is around here, kind of meeting up with that nor'easter. We have a overall warmer pocket still over the west. If this was wintertime, we would be seeing potentially major snowfall from a setup just like this one. But of course, it is April 11th on this particular frame, so it is in fact not winter by any means. Looking towards Saturday, we do see some higher elevation snowfall, and the reason we know this model is specifically calling for high elevation snowfall and not, any elevation snowfall, is because we see the rain to the west, east, north, and south of some of these snow pockets, and they correlate directly with some of your higher Appalachian mountain ranges here in Pennsylvania into the Finger Lakes regions. We see the Catskills, the Adirondacks, the Green Mountains, the White Mountains there. We can make out a lot of these major mountain ranges out there in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, and that is where this model is showing snow falling Saturday morning at a light to moderate kick, probably. Nothing too crazy, and then that just clears up pretty quickly. As we keep going towards Sunday, we do have a little bit more of a substantial low here for the Dakotas. This is bringing some snowfall for the northern Rockies, also bringing about some colder temperatures. So this is likely going to rebound those warmer temps into the east here right around Sunday the 13th. And we do see that effect in full swing here. Taking a look at Monday, we see that this low wants to glide to the north up there in Canada. Where this low goes will dictate if this could be another severe weather type event, because if this one was to meander further south, we do have 6 or 7 days to go. This could start to trend further and further southward and get closer to this very rich, warm, and humid environment. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a high precipitation cold front in here and potentially be watching for some severe weather. But at this, look, I really am not seeing it. I do see some snowfall, obviously, up here in Canada and for Minnesota and North Dakota. Probably some thunderstorms underneath, and we actually do develop a little bit of a trailing cold front, but look at your parent low up here in eastern Canada. I mean, that is a far stretch for that cold front, so this would definitely be much more impactful if that low was much further south here Monday to Tuesday, 14th into the 15th. We do see a couple of days of deep south and southeast thunderstorms in here, nothing too crazy. Another cool down perhaps around the 16th, 17th, even one here for the 18th, 19th. But we do fully rebound into a warmer pattern here by the 20th, 22nd time frame, with no real major storms to discuss. Definitely thinking we're going to see a different look here on the GFS model. So let's just work our way through it. We get storm number 1. Storm number 2, a little more impactful there with that nor'easter. Even some snowfall for the Appalachian Mountain Range in West Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania there. That one moves out. We warm up. We cool back down. And then we do warm up basically on this model from the 16th, 17th onward here. We really look warm all the way through, and we can see some of these low pressure systems are much further south than what the European model was calling for, with some snowfall for Montana, Wyoming, and South Dakota, and then even thunderstorm activity for states like Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska. I feel like we haven't seen any north-based severe weather events so far this season, way up there in some of these further north states. I know that Kansas and Missouri have had their fair share, even bits of Iowa, but as far as like the Dakotas, Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, we haven't gotten to infuse that much moisture and heat up there yet, but definitely we'll keep our eye on this very, very closely. Total precipitation, I mean, it's a little lackluster. The Northwest looks okay, especially those areas closer to the coast. And on the East Coast, there is a few spots that look pretty good, but this is like really, really dry. This is like really bad. So when we look at the anomalies, yeah, sure enough, we see the East Coast is doing okay there. Again, closer to normal. Same with the Northwest here. And even some of the desert areas, getting no precipitation isn't even that abnormal. So we get a lot closer to normal, even though they're getting even less than these areas here that average a whole lot of rainfall compared to the desert, and they're getting nearly nothing. So we end up with these inches and inches below average for the upcoming 2 or 3 weeks here. Looking at the Storm Prediction Center outlooks, day 1, we do have a slight risk along the southeast coast, as you can see. We'll work our way through color code, though. The lighter greens is going to be our general thunderstorm risk, where we expect general thunderstorms, but anything is possible, so heed every watch, warning, and advisory. The darker green area there is your level 1 marginal risk, and that is where we have isolated severe weather expected to be possible. And then that yellow area from Florida through the coast of Georgia, South Carolina, and into North Carolina, that is your level 2 slight risk. And we expect a little bit more scattered about severe weather in that particular area. That's for today on Monday the 7th. But as we move towards day 2, we see only 3 general thunderstorm risks. And still, anything's possible, so still pay attention. But really getting a good break here from the very severe weather. And then even Wednesday, we see some, again, general thunderstorm risk areas, but no severe weather expected necessarily. And there's no extended day outlook. So hopefully we can get a good 1 week at least, maybe even 10 days with little to no severe weather. That would be great with all the activity that we've seen throughout March and April so far. We could really, really use a break like that. So I am really hoping that this is what we actually end up seeing. With all that being said, be sure to subscribe. We upload every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.